All right, so in this live tutorial, we're going to try to do the this exact template that is used for these three cards. In I Love Cards, you don't need to design each card. You design a template, and then this template is applied to all the new cards. And as you can see, if I click on a card, I select it. If I click on this button, I can show all the content. So the title of the card, there is no one-liner. There is a detailed content with bold and stuff like that. A card number that I'm not using in the template, by the way. You have the key points that are used on the back of the card, difficulty on the front, and source on the front too. As you can see, difficulty, source, title. This is the title of the category that is directly here. So if I change the title of the category, it's going to modify directly here. And we have a hint. Where was the hint? So the hint, you can see it here. So if I click, you can rotate the card. This is the hint, and we can find it. Where is the hint? Can I remember? Oh, here. Sorry, here. Voilà. So this is what we're going to build. So I'm going to go, I have just duplicated this deck. You have a button to duplicate a deck very easily here, and it's going to recreate everything. And when I duplicated it, I removed the beautiful template and just added a blank template like this one. All right, so we're going to start. And I'm going to select the card. And there are multiple ways to edit a template. You can either go into your library of templates, which is where you find all your templates, and edit your template. Or you can not leave your deck. And here you see that I see the name of the front template. If I look at the back, I see the name of the back. By the way, I forgot to remove it. And I click here, and it's going to say edit deck template. So now I can edit the template that is used for my deck. So now I am in the interface, the user interface that enables me to create this deck. So again, we are trying to do exactly, I need to have my example somewhere. So I'm going to open it in a second tab. Okay, so this is my example. So usually what I do is that I put all the fields in my card and then I format them. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put the title of the category here, and I want to put the hint somewhere. So let's get back. I already have the title of the card. I can just very quickly make it a bit bigger. Okay, good. And now we're going to start adding the title of the category. And you see that here I have a section where all these two fields are going to be one after the other. So section 1, right now there is only one, add element. Here I have all the elements from the cards, but I want to have some content that pertain to the category, and I want the category title. All right, cellular process, I have my category title, and I'm going to put it here, drag and drop, and as it is in a section, it always go on top of the other. Okay, so even if my text was smaller or bigger, let's say that I have a very big, it's going to span on 2 lines now, but not a problem because it's pushing the rest of the text. Okay, so this is why sections are great, because it adapts to different sizes of text, because sometimes you have cards where the question is 2 lines and cards where the question is 3 lines. So Oh, we are almost done. We have nearly everything. No, not yet. So the other thing that I'm going to do is that you see that there is this background, colored background in the section. So I'm going to click here. Now the section is selected. Okay. And here I have a toolbar. And on that toolbar, I'm going to select the background color. So maybe you're going to say, okay, I'm going to select the pink color. And by the way, very quickly, I'm going to put the text to white and the text to white so that we can see something. But if, what do I do here? I said, okay, for all my cards, I want the background to be pink. But I don't want that. I want to be able to have a dynamic color for my card. Because here it's pink, here it's orange, and here it's red. And I don't want to create a different template each time that I change the primary color of the card. You can change the primary color of the card here. This one is red. If I put a custom color of blue, you see that it's picking the color. Okay, and I'm using the same template. So the way to do that is that I'm going to select again my section, but instead of saying I want pink, I'm going to use this weird swatch here. And let me show you in more colors. Here, it means use the primary color of the card. This is what it means. So it looks like it's pink, but in fact, it says it's a dynamic color. And let me prove you that, because I'm going to, I cannot do that, but I'm just going to save it, save and exit. Et voilà. So you see that this card has orange as a primary color. Now I put blue and it works. Okay? So this is important to understand. It enables you with only one template to have color by category, color by cards, whatever you want. Okay, getting back to editing our card. So what I'm going to do now, you see that my card has kind of two sections. There is the bottom section and the upper section. One of them is pink and one of them is white. And this one has the hint, and the hint is kind of rotated by 90 degree to enable this cool mechanism. So let's do that now. So you see that right now I have only section 1. I'm going to add a new section. Okay, the problem is that my section, it's reverse. It should be the reverse. So I'm going to drag and drop the second one to be on top. All right. Now I'm going to move that a little bit because I want this part to take much more space than the other part. You see also that automatically the text is in the middle, which is what I want, but sometimes you don't want that. So let me show you. I select the section and I can really maybe anchor it to the bottom or have them take the full space of the section. And you have different ways like that. You can have it anchored to the top, but here I really want anchored to the middle. All right, now I have this section here. White is okay for me. And in this section, what do we want? We want the hint. So I'm going to go in section 1, add element. It's an element from the card. It's a content from the card, and it's called hint. You see, I have it here. Okay, we don't see it a lot because it's grayish by default. So I'm going to put black so that you can see. Okay, I have my hint. I can put it a little bit bigger. I can put it in italic. Maybe it's a little bit less like that. Let me have a look. Yeah, I think it's bold. So bold. Something like that. And what else? Oh, it takes the color. You see that the real one takes the color, the primary color. So we're going to do that too. Maybe it's not bold, it's more like that. Yeah. And to take the primary color, I'm going to again select this weird swatch. So that way, if I save and exit, now we can see that the hint is taking the color of the primary color. All right, let's continue. Now, we need to have it rotated. So either you do it that way, and if I do shift, I can snap it. The other ways to do that is here, you have a rotation. If you want to have something very precise, you have this rotation parameter on the bottom right of your screen. Let me have a quick look. I want to see what are the fonts that I'm using. I am using Fredoka font, and I was having normal. Okay, so I'm going to do the same. Here I can change the font, Fredoka. And yes, Fredoka is more bold. That's why now I can put it normal and something like that. All right, looks better. Now, what do we want to have? So we're going to add this cool little grid effect in the background. And we're going to add the little wavy form like that. Because like that, it's boring. And like that, it's fun and interesting. All right, so I'm going to select. So there is two ways. So either I add the wavy stuff on the bottom section, or I add it here. I can do both. So let me add it here. And you see, when I select the section, I have plenty of buttons. One of them is this little section edge button. And I can have fun because, so I want to put wave top. And then I can have a lot of fun. I can do stuff like that. I can multiply the frequency. Anyway, let's take this one. Voila. No, I think it was in the other side. Okay. I like the look. All right. Now, I told you that, okay, this one is a little bit tricky. I want to add the grid. If I add the grid on the section here, well, you're going to see the problem. So first of all, how to add a little pattern on a section. There is this button here, which says pattern overlay and grid. And here I have a white grid on a white background, so you don't see anything. So the thing is, I'm going to take the black grid, and because there is opacity, I can make it this little cool effect like that. Okay, so again, it's a way to add a little bit of character, flair to your thing. You can test other ways. I like the grid a lot. I like the dots too. Very simple but efficient. Anyway, you can play with it. So what is the problem? Let me unselect by clicking outside. Ah, the problem is the section. In fact, it's only here. What I really want to do is to put, there is a background, that is behind the two sections. So in fact, I want to remove everything. I want this here to be totally transparent. So I'm going to remove the grid, none. And also, I'm going to remove the color. Instead of being white, I'm going to put it transparent. So now, in fact, you don't see the color of the section, you see the color of the background. And the way to select the background is you click here, or you can click here, and you see that the background is white. It could have been other colors. So now if that is white, I can do the same trick that I was doing. Grid, black, and voila. And if I want to have fun with the size of the grid, I can do whatever I want. Okay, don't forget to save. By the way, you can give it a name to your template. By default, it tries to be smart by finding a name that is relevant to your context, but you can rename it. All right, so we have that. Okay, let's add this little icon. So this icon comes from, maybe I'm gonna do that. So the icon here, if you when you select a card, you have illustrations, and by default, each card can have one icon and one illustration. And you see that right now, the icon that has been selected is the leaf icon from the Lucid icon set. If you want to add more icons, you can do it, okay? It's new from 2 days ago. You can add as many fields as you want. You can add as many icons, as many illustration, one illustration for the front, one for the back. This is new. Anyway, we don't need it here. We just need one. So this is to say this is in the data. So now we are in our template here, and I'm going to add an icon. So if I add it here in the section, so card, this is the icon of the card, and you don't see it because I need to make it white, and I'm just going to make it bigger so that you can see it, okay? So as it is in the section, it goes after that. I can try to push it here, but now it's going to be very difficult to position it here. So when you want to position something absolutely, you need to remove them from the flow of the different sections. Because if I put it on the other section, I'm going to have the reverse problem. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the overlay. And when it's in the overlay, you see like it seems to be here, but in fact it's out of the flow. I can put it anywhere I want, including just here in the middle. Okay, I need to do a little bit of design now. I'm going to put a background color. And again, I don't put the pink. I put the primary color. Okay, we are better. I need two things. I need to make it, let me zoom. I need to make it totally round, and I need to add a little bit of breathing space. So let me start with the breathing space. There is this icon here, padding. The technical word is padding, and I'm going to add this padding here. And on the same control, I have a corner radius. I can either do it from here, or I have a little control directly here if I prefer. All right, we are not far from what I have here. Now, because I have problem when things are not centered, we want this to be really well centered. So how do you do that? Because if I do it by eye, it's never going to be very centered. Okay, so there is something here. Here you can see the icon is selected, and I can put it directly. Now it's in the center of everything, and now I can use my keyboard arrow key to put it up, and shift arrow key to adjust it finely. And now I have something that is okay for me. Here I can zoom in, zoom out. I can center the card here. All right, save. Okay, we're getting better. Now, let's have a look. You see I like this kind of design a lot. I use them a lot. I put the category titles in kinds of tags like that, and I put it in all caps. I like the way it looks. I think it's very readable, so I do that a lot. So let me show you how you can achieve that. I select the text. Again, I'm going to zoom a little bit so that I can see better. It's very easy. I'm just going to put a background color. Same, this time I want the background color to be white. I'm going to put the text color to be the primary color. And I'm going to add a little bit of padding everywhere. And then I want just to cut the angles. So I'm going to put a little bit of corner radius, not too much. Like that. And last thing, I want to have here in the text settings, I want to transform it into all caps. And now it's a little bit too big. By the way, if I do minus, it's going to remove 0.5, which can be a little bit too much, but you can just click here and put the exact number that you want. And I'm going to put it in, bold. A little bit, I think. Oops. I deleted the element. So when you do that, you need to find the undo button. But the problem for you is that I haven't coded a undo button yet, so you have to start again. So section 2, category title, put it before, drag and drop, color is this one, background is white, padding is like that, a little bit of corner radius, text, bold, tag, and like that. And save. And I think I have too much corner radius. I want to make it even less than that. Voilà. Save. All right, the front is nearly finished. Now we want to add the little things here. Okay. So the first thing is, so again, here we want to position that not in a flow of a section. So we're going to put that into the overlay so that it's on the top and we can just drag and drop it where we want. So we're going to add the two fields. The first one that we want is called the difficulty level. And it's going to be approximately here. The second field that we want is the source where we can find the answers. And I'm just going to drag and drop it here. So here, something a bit difficult to understand. Beginner, this field, if I have advanced, it's not the same number of characters, all right? So I have to make sure that if I have a big text here, it is not going to move because let me add the icon. Let me show you on the real one on here. No, not here. On this one. You see that advanced is bigger than beginner and intermediate is even bigger. And I want the text to be anchored, the left side of the text to be anchored at the exact same place, okay? So that I can change the size of the text and it won't move. The beginning of the text won't move. So in order to do that, you need to put right now by default, I need to zoom a lot to show you. By default, the anchor point is the center of the text. So if the text is bigger, it's going to be bigger on the right and on the left. So here I can change the anchor point to be on the left. And now you see there is a pink dot here. So now I can position it. And now it's not going to move. The first letter is always going to be at that place in the card. And I'm going to do the same here and position it through this here and move it with my keyboard so that it's always at the same place. And now I want them to be exactly aligned together. So again, I'm going to use here, it's at 89% on the bottom of the card. And I want this one to be also 89. Well, that's perfect. It's already done. Okay, so now I have my two texts that are anchored to the left. And now I can put the icons. But first I'm going to save. So the icons, there is something that is a little bit difficult because I need to add a feature that is going to come in the coming 2 or 3 days. So I don't want the icon a dynamic icon. Okay, the dynamic icon, the type of icon is based on the content of the card. What I want is a generic icon component, and I find all the free-form component at the bottom here, and I'm going to add an icon, and by default, it's a star. So I can position it here, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to position this one here. Again, I'm going to position it at 80. The center of the icon is going to be at 89. The center of this icon, 89 too. All right. Now, the little thing that is a little bit difficult is right now, when you edit it, you don't have an icon picker like you have inside here, where you can just put a name. And so the way you do is that you can look here, for example, and what I want is a gauge, and this is the name of the icon. So I get back here and I'm going to type gauge and save. And you see that now I have my icon. I can just move that a little bit. But don't worry, in 2 or 3 days, you're going to have the icon picker. Okay, and here I want a book. I can do the same. I can try to find some books. So I can have book open. So I'm just going to edit and change manually book dash open. That's the name. And I have it here. And I'm going to move it a little bit. So Bella, undo there is no undo right now in I Love Cards. This is a complex feature, so that's why it's not yet implemented, but it's on the roadmap. You have all the shortcuts that are implemented here. Escape to deselect, delete an element, Control C, Control V, Control D for duplicating. You can move finely or largely, zoom in, zoom out. You have guide snapping and rotation snapping. Okay, I think we are done. Are we done? Save and exit. All right. We have our front template that is now done, which means that now each time we are going to add a card, and I can show you by using the AI, I'm going to generate a new card. I don't I don't even know what it's going to generate. I just click on generate just for the sake of a demonstration. Of course, you should not do that. And it works perfectly. So the AI has generated the content here. And the fact that we are using the same template, well, the hint goes in the hint. Well, of course, the category is the same. Then you have a title and the different things here. All right, and the back, by the way, it has also done the back. Okay, so what time is it? 20. Okay, so I'm going to do the back now. So I'm going to remove that back, because it's too easy if it's already done for us. I'm going to pick a text template, create empty, and save and exit, just to show you that now we have nothing at the back. Okay, so at the back, what do we want? Let's take our examples. In the back, we want, so you see the icon that is here, we have the same here. Then we have the detailed content. There is no key point here. Okay, there is the detailed content. Take this one. We have a detailed content from the field called detailed content, which is a basic default field in I Love Cards. And there is all the default fields, you cannot delete them. And these are custom fields so that you can add by that. So one of the custom field was key points, and you see that it's a bullet point list. Okay, and we have it here. We have a title, we have an underline, we have the detailed content, and we have the icon, and we have a border. All right, lots of things to do. The other thing is that the key points are anchored to the bottom, and the rest of the text is anchored to the top. So the key points are always on the bottom, and there is this empty space that is the variability. Okay, so let's create that. I have my back selected, and now I'm going to edit it. First thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to select the background, and I'm going to say, now background, you are orange. No, sorry, you are primary color, sorry. And I'm going to say, and I want a card border. You don't see the border yet because this section has no color. So now let me select the section and give it a white color. Okay. So now we have our border. I'm going to zoom a little bit. Okay. In order to be able to do that, we need two sections. It looks like there is only one, but there are two sections. One for the key points that is anchored to the bottom, and one for the main that is anchored to the top. So let me do that. I'm going to add a new section. And just for you to see it, I'm going to give it a gray color, just for you to see it. But normally it's exactly the same color. Okay. And I need less space for the key points than for the detail. Okay, now let me put some elements. So one thing that I need first is the icon from the card. And I'm going to make it very small this time. And I need the detailed content. Okay. I can change a few things. So detailed content are very specific. You can fine tune a lot of things because they can have bullet points, they can have bolts and stuff like that. But the only thing I'm going to change right now is make sure that it goes on the left like that. Probably I should make it a little bit smaller. So as I told you, it's a bit more complicated because in a detailed text, you can have headings, 1, 2, 3, different level of headings. You can have body text, and right now we have only body text. So I can move the size of the body text from here. I can change the font of the body text, and you can have different fonts. Headings can be one font, body text can be another one. So let's say that I'm going to take Nunito. I like this font. Okay, so I think, and what I say, so I'm going to select the section again, and I want it to be anchored to the top. So you do it that way, anchored to the bottom, anchored, distributed all over the place, another kind of distribution, another kind, and now it's anchored to the top, except that we have too much margin here. And you can, of course, change that, gap and padding, and the top padding here, you see, this is the margin. So I can have 0, which is weird, and I can have a minimal margin like that. Now I'm good. I'm going to save it. Save and exit so that you can see where we are at. Okay, it's looking good. Now let's continue and add the bottom. Edit text template. And now I want to do stuff in the bottom section here. In this one. Again, I can decide the relative size of each one of the section. And I'm going to add the key points. So there is a custom field that is called key points. It's here. And I have it. So I need to do multiple things. First of all, I need to zoom so that you can see something. And I'm going to push it a little bit like that so that first thing I want to do is again put it to the left side. I want to make the box bigger, something like that. Okay, and then I want to fine-tune some stuff in these bullet points. So I'm going to open the full typography settings. I'm just okay, so that you can see. Here I can manage the headings. That's not headings. The body text. That's not an ordered list. An ordered list has numbers. This is an unordered list. So this is where I can manage this kind of stuff here. I can change. You see, I can put different types of bullet points and manage the size of these bullet points. I can really do a lot of stuff so that it looks pretty. You see that by default, it has the color of the primary color, which is nice. What I like to do is remove the indent. The indent is where it starts. So I'm going to push it so that it's aligned here. You can also make it more or less here like that. And the last thing, I'm going to make it smaller so that you can understand. You can say where exactly is the bullet points compared to the line. So for example, I'm going to do bullet point baseline, which means that it's aligned here. It doesn't work very well, by the way. Top, center, baseline. Okay, that's not working as I expected. Normally it should be aligned here. So little bug on my side. Anyway, it's good enough. It looks good enough. I want to have the same I want to have the font. Yeah, no need to. Can I manage the font here? Yeah. Okay. So I have my key points like I want here. but I want them anchored to the bottom, and I want this heading like that. So let's do that, and then we are done. So first of all, I don't want the content to be in the middle of the section 2. I want it to be at the bottom. So I'm going to click on that button again. And now I'm at the bottom, but again, there is too much margin. So now I'm going to remove the bottom padding like that. And now we're going to add some titles. So key points. So this is something that will not change. It will be the same key point text for each card. So I'm going to add a freeform element that is text. That's going to be black. That's going to be before the bullet. That's going to be to the left, and I need, by the way, this also to be like that. I want a little bit of space in between the elements, so of the section. So I selected the section, gap space. Now it's looking fine. Oh, by the way, I don't need to do that because there is this separator. So this little bar, you can add something, an element that is called a separator. So at the end, shape, separator. I'm going to put it in between the text. So in fact, I didn't want this gap. I prefer it that way. And I'm going to manage the space in between the element with the separator. It's exactly done for that. I don't want any margin on the top. And I want a little bit of margin in the bottom. And now I have something like that. I can make it bigger. I can change the color to be the color of the primary color. I can change the text, the font to be the same as everywhere. I can put it caps, bold, a little bit smaller. Okay, so now obviously I don't want your text. So I'm gonna, this is static text, okay? So I can just say, what was it? Key what? I don't remember. Key data? No, I don't even remember what I need to put.
Points.
Key points, thank you. You are following. Key points. By the way, something fun. Look at that. If I can even embed some dynamic fields here, such as the deck title. And then it says key point, flashcard, blah, blah, blah. We don't want that, but I wanted to show you the possibility. Now we can remove the gray, put the white back, and I think we are done. Okay, so now that I can see with real data, I see that I have too much space, so I can put this text bigger, and then we are really done. We put that bigger text. Remember, it's a complex text, so we have this body text that we can augment. I think it's good enough. Voila, save. And it's finished. Share, download, home print to test my card deck, all cards. I'm gonna print it on poker size for my tests. But I can change it very easily. If I want a jumbo deck, it's gonna work almost fine. You only need to fine tune a few things. Okay, but let's get back to poker deck. when I print it, I don't like to have gaps. Home printing, I don't like to have gaps. I'm a European, so I put that on A4 paper. I'm going to have 9 cards per page, which is nice. And I want cutting guides because I just want to be very efficient. I'm going to have crop marks everywhere. Export to PDF. And you always need to do that to make sure that there is no little bugs. Et voilà. Obviously, I have only 3 cards, but I can put 9. I have my crop marks, and I can just print it on my printer that is just here, cut it with my fingers, and I'm done. I can test it with some real participants, and I can test it myself. So good job, right? We have done a quite a complex card layout. We have done the front part, we have done the back part. The front has a lot of different visual elements, this rotated text, this kind of little pattern. The back has some detailed text that can cope with different sizes of content. It's quite flexible. So, and if I need to change something, it's very easy. If I need to add something or change something, let's say that I want to change the font of the main text and I have 100 cards, not a problem. I just go into my edit deck template, I select that, and let's say I want a more fancy font. Et voilà, my 100 cards are updated. I want to change the color, not a problem. I change the color of this card to be blue, or maybe I want all the cards from this category to have exactly the same. I just remove the custom color for the card, and I say, okay, all the cards in cellular process, edit, template, all the cards in cellular process are blue. And if I have another category, I can decide to have it in another color. Voilà. Do you have some questions?
Stuff, Alex. Quick question, and
Yeah.
maybe it's a stupid question, but if you have a whole library of icons, yes,
Yeah.
is it possible to introduce different icons, proper icons, or?
Yes, it is. Right now, you can do it. Right now, you can do it that way. Let me show you. I'm gonna edit that. You can add any kind of graphic element by going into freeform, images, and you
Okay.
upload your custom icon, custom SVG, or custom PNG
All right.
from whatever you have.
Yeah.
And so you see, and you can manage the way it is. So I can put, yeah.
Sorry, Christine Boyko-Head is a good friend and colleague, and she has a bunch of questions I'm to ask. On that point, Alex, can you upload photos as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can either upload photos in the template, which means that all the cards will have the same photo. As you can see here, they're all going to have the same here. Or you can add as many photos as you want. Here, by default, there is one, but you can add as many as you want.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to find it on Unsplash, for example.
Okay, great.
Put it here. Now it's associated to the card. And if I go, So I'm going to destroy my beautiful template, but it's not a problem.
Sorry.
And now, instead of adding a free-form image, I'm going to add element, card, illustration. And
Okay.
now I can do whatever I want, and which means that I can have one image. So here, only this card has an image, but look at that. Now, if I add an image to this one, find on Unsplash, it's going to be show me some leaves. Perfect. Et voilà.
All right. Great.
And if you want one image for the front and a different from the back, not a problem. This is new from this week. Add a visual field, image, back image, create field. And now I have the ability to add another image, which is different on my card deck. So each one of the cards could have a different image.
And
Yeah.
sorry, can you also upload already existing cards and edit them from here? Like, can you, the whole card, could you upload it?
You could do that, but you would lose all the benefits of I Love Cards. My advice would be to recreate them, which shouldn't be a problem if they are like 95% of the training and facilitator card deck that we have on the market. If it's very sophisticated in kind of in terms of design, you might have some stuff that are not possible to do right now. But in that case, you come back to me and we can have a look if we can add some new features. But you should be able, I have tons of card decks on my left that I use as benchmark. And right now I can do all of them but one perfectly similar with I Love Cards. And that way you get all the benefits. If you just upload the images, you can do that. You can upload one big image on the front, one big image on the back, but then you don't have the benefits of the colors system, editing the cards, adding a new card, etc., etc. And soon multilingual cards, translating the cards in multiple language. So all of these things you won't have if you do that. Make sense?
Right. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Questions? Did you enjoy the demo?
Yes, it was great. Quick question. You mentioned languages. Is there any language available beside English or French?
Right now, you can write your cards in whatever language you want. I mean, you can write your, instead of enzyme and reactions, you put enzyme et réaction, and you have it in French. I mean, I don't know if it makes sense when I say that, but I didn't activate it. Yeah. So now I have it in French. But the limit right now is that you can have only one language per deck. The language of the interface is in English, absolutely.
Okay.
But if you know how to speak English, it shouldn't be a problem. But then your cards can be in any language. But soon, and there is all the architecture for that from the beginning, I wanted that. Soon, you will be able to use AI to translate a deck in any other language, to have multiple versions of your deck in different languages, and then to proofread it yourself or to translate it yourself. So soon you're going to be able to do that. It's going to be a premium feature. Make sense?
Yes, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And one last question, please, Alex, from
No problem.
Chris. Thinking about, this is about lifetime memberships and memberships in general. By lifetime membership, if there were a group of 3 people in a project, could they buy a lifetime membership and each one of them use it? Or does it mean that each person within the project buys their own lifetime membership?
No, each person has to buy a license.
Okay. All right.
Honestly, it's already very generous as
Yes.
a price, especially
Yes, it is.
now that you have a launch price of 149 euros lifetime. So no, one per
Okay,
person. Yeah,
that's perfect. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
I have one
Anyone?
question
Yeah, please.
about the contents. You created this card deck here with contents generated by AI, right?
Yeah, only because I was lazy and it's just a demo.
Okay.
But
But we
if
can
I,
upload our own contents, right? So if I
of
have a very
course,
specific, and we have to do it manually for each card, or we can do it manually for each card, like
you
copy it
have
directly.
you have plenty of ways. So you can create a deck from scratch. You see, I have my first card and I can add the content one by one. There is a table view for that, by the way. Very quickly, I can do hello, just use my keyboard, tab, no, not tab, sorry, the arrow. So I do my demo, arrow, enter. Now I can edit this one, enter, arrow, enter. Now I can edit this one. So you can very quickly edit from here. If you want, very quick demo, Google spreadsheet, value card sample. You can also have your card deck on a spreadsheet like that. Just copy and paste it, copy, go to I love cards in your deck, import from a spreadsheet, paste, next, analyze. The AI is analyzing the spreadsheet, and then it's gonna put your content either in the standard field of I love cards, such as title and description. For example, here the card number goes into the standard card number, and it also finds that these value actions here, it's a card deck about values. It needs a custom field, so it does all the job, but you can modify. Then next, create deck, and I could have hundreds of cards, obviously, but I have all my data here. You see, if I edit, carrying, one-liner, detailed content, card number, a value, value actions. So everything has been imported in just 3 clicks, maybe. In 3 clicks, I was able to import a lot of cards just like that. Make sense?
Yes, that is great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Save. I'm gonna delete it because I'm creating so many dummy decks that I'm gonna delete this one and I'm gonna delete the other one. Any other question?
I just wonder what type of AI do you included?
So right now it's GPT GPT-4 Mini. So it's a quick and low cost AI. Soon, and right now it's only me, I'm sponsoring for AI for everybody, which is not sustainable with a lifetime license. So very soon, I'm gonna make it so that you have to purchase AI tokens. So for example, you purchase a 10 euro token pack and you can use up to 10 euros of tokens, which will enable me to give you access to more powerful AI if you need. So it's fair. I mean, when you do a lifetime subscription, I cannot give you the AI for free, or I cannot give you more.
Is
Yeah,
this the OpenAI stuff?
yeah, OpenAI.
Okay.
But again, I'm using something that will enable you to give you access to different kind of providers. Why this question?
I was just wondering how does it work? So if I have an API code
Oh no,
Uh,
no, you wouldn't be able to use
okay,
it.
I see.
Yeah, yeah. You that's feasible to implement that, but you are an outlier. Uh,
Mhm.
no one else will need that feature, so I'm sorry. Very few people
Well,
have it.
theoretically, anybody who has an OpenAI or Perplexity or whatever subscription can get an API code,
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I'm just saying that
use
very
it
few
like that.
people do that, but um, and that would be possible to implement. If there is a lot of requests, it's something I could do.
This question may rise when you start to charge for the AI use.
Yeah, it's not going to be huge cost. I mean, it's
Okay.
going to be 10 euros. What costs a lot, and when I say a lot, if you generate 50 AI images, it's going to cost you $10. Okay.
Mhm.
So, but if you just use it for generating card like I did here, if I do add a card, generate, this costs like nothing for you. But for me, accumulated by the number of users, it starts to add at the end of the month. So that's why.
Excellent. Thank you.
Why do we have... Did I forget to save something? Why is it white? Let me refresh the screen. Maybe it's only that. Yeah, that's that. Oh no. Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe I forgot to do something. The text was white on white. Hmm.
Well, thank you, Alex. I need to go. It
Yeah,
was really interesting, and I really appreciate your work, not only with the cards, but also building a community. It is really great, and I'm cheering for you.
yeah. So all of you, I hope that. So Murray, I'm gonna answer your question. If you want to go, please go. Obviously, it's already 10 past the normal hour. Um, you know where to find me if you have questions, if you want to have help in getting your card deck done. Right now, I'm doing that for everybody who asks me because it's a win-win situation. I want you to succeed in creating your first card deck so that it creates a good benchmark example of what I Love Cards can do. Uh, I'm not sure that in 3 months it's going to be the case. So start doing your deck. Reach out anytime. I'm going to help you get it done. And otherwise, Murray is asking question, card size better to set at the start or okay to set later? So contrary to all the other design software in the world, where the answer is define it as soon as possible, with I Love Cards, the way it is done, well, it can cope with a lot of changes. For example, if there is slight changes in the size and the width, but you keep it as portrait, it's going to work. It's going to work fine. If you want it, if it has the same ratio, let me show you. Just going to remove that and that. If here I'm a micro deck, which is very small, but if I have the same kind of shape, but for Euro Poker, yeah, it works. Domino deck, you see that I have a little problem here, but that's my only problem. If I take a square deck, it works fine. Again, I might want to move that a little bit on the right. So the way I Love Card is done, it means that you can decide later to change the size of your deck. I can even make it like that. It works. So yeah, you can change your mind later. It's better if you don't change, but if you keep the same kind of ratio, you won't have big surprises, and you're gonna be okay. And again, here, if I need to make changes, I just need to make changes to one template. Okay, maybe on some decks you're gonna have 3 or 4 or 5 different templates, but that's nothing compared to all the work you would have to do on Canva. If you try to use Canva for your cards and you have to make changes, I know this is why I created iVlog cards, because my own card decks were on Canva, and then on InDesign and Affinity Publisher, and each time I had to make a change, it was a nightmare. Bye bye.
Alex, cheers. Thanks very much.
You're
Take care.
welcome,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Again, you know
Bye-bye.
where to find me, and enjoy using I Love Cards. And if you see any problem, any bug, anything that is missing, reach out. And most of the time, I'm able to update and correct that within the next 48 hours.
Great.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you, Murray.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you. Say hello to Christine.
I certainly will, and thanks for answering all those questions for her. She loves your work, and we've got a bunch of decks, as I think she told you last time. So, but she's wanting to switch to Isle of Cards, so she just, because we love the flexibility you've created. So I will send all this information to her. So, merci beaucoup, Alex.
De rien, Glenis. See you soon. Bye-bye. Ciao.